With the conversation you are seeing only on 13.
Andy Gillis, the father of the young woman who was shot and killed by Kevin Monahan, is talking to us one day after a jury found Monahan guilty of murder.
Kaylin Gillis' father shared his thoughts with us this afternoon as he was driving back to his home in Florida. The Gillis family moved there a few months after Kaylin was shot and killed on April 15th of last year as she rode in an SUV that had gotten lost in Kevin Monahan's driveway. Andy cried as the guilty verdict was read yesterday, and today he told us he's relieved. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really good about the verdict. You know, it's been a long 9 months, and we've been waiting for justice, hoping for justice, and with the verdict coming yesterday, we're very happy with it. So, you know, obviously it's not going to change anything. It's not going to bring Kaylin back, but it's a start for us to start healing.
Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive Kevin Monahan?
The good part of me wants to someday, maybe, but right now I am not even thinking about that. Who knows? You know, time will tell.
More of the interview you're seeing only on 13.
We broke the news around this time yesterday that Kevin Monahan was found guilty of murder in the death of Kaylin Gillis. And today we're hearing from Andy Gillis, Kaylin's father.
Here's much more of that conversation.
Just how you're feeling today, making this drive back home to your family. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really good about the verdict. You know, it's been a long 9 months, and we've been waiting for justice, hoping for justice, and with the verdict coming yesterday, we're very happy with it. So, you know, obviously it's not going to change anything. It's not going to bring Kaylin back, but it's a start for us to start healing.
Andy, what about the time that the jury took? Less than 2 hours, about 90 minutes in total of deliberations. Is that particularly gratifying?
Absolutely. We definitely felt that we were going to have to wait, you know, a little while for the verdict. And when they came back in just under 2 hours, it was amazing that we didn't have to come back the next day or have to deal with any more of, you know, the proceedings.
This was closely watched, not just here in the capital region, but all over the country, with an army of support behind you and your family. What would you like to say to everyone who was watching so closely as this was going by?
I would just like to say thank you to everyone. The tremendous support that we've had through the whole entire ordeal has been amazing, uplifting, and it's been a big help to our family and friends to try to deal with this.
And Andy, I looked over as the verdict was read, as the murder verdict was read, and you were crying, you were sobbing. What were you feeling, and do you feel like Kaylin was there with you?
I was feeling just tremendous relief. I really wasn't sure how the verdict was going to go. And yeah, absolutely, we felt that Kaylin was there with us.
Much more of our conversation with Andy Gillis. Again, he was driving back home to Florida, took some time to speak with us on the phone, just sharing how he felt after that emotional stretch of time in court.
Yeah, we appreciate his time, and it's been a very difficult 9 months for Andy and the entire Gillis family and their extended family.
Coming up live at 5.
Only on 13, Andy Gillis, the father of the young woman who was shot and killed by Kevin Monahan, talking to us a day after the jury found Monahan guilty of murder. Kaylin Gillis' father sharing his thoughts with us this afternoon as he was driving back to his home in Florida. The Gillis family moved there a few months after Kaylin was shot and killed on April 15th of last year as she rode in an SUV that had gotten lost in Kevin Monahan's driveway. Andy cried as the guilty verdict was read yesterday, and today he said he's relieved.
How did you share the news? Because your entire family couldn't be there. What did you tell the rest of your family who couldn't be there when the verdict came down?
Well, first of all, I called my wife. She was waiting very, very impatiently for the verdict. And I called her, and I immediately I started crying like a little baby, telling her, and same with her. She was just so relieved. She's been so stressed out through this whole thing. She made the decision not to come down for the trial. It was just too much for her. Plus, our kids were still in school, and when I told her, it was just unbelievable sense of relief. She said it was like a weight off of her chest. After the verdict was read and they rescheduled for the sentencing, the date they came up with was Kaylin's birthday, and that's another thing that really made us, really hit us in the heart, because that would be her 21st birthday if we had gone with that day.
Now, of course, this was a very powerful story, and it's a long interview, so that was a nearly 10-minute conversation. To see the full thing, head to WNYT.com.
Only on 13 tonight, we speak to the father of Kaylin Gillis.
He describes the wave of emotion one day after Kevin Monahan was found guilty of murder.
Andy Gillis spoke with us over the phone today as he makes the long drive back to his new home in Florida.
They moved there after Kaylin was killed. That was her dream, to live in Florida. Today, Andy Gillis talked about the immense relief he feels after that quick verdict came in yesterday. He also talked about the incredible support he and his family have received from thousands of people here in the capital region and all over the country. Kaylin was killed by a bullet fired by Kevin Monahan when she and her friends got lost and pulled into Monahan's driveway in Hebron, Washington County last April.
The guilty verdict of murder came in after just about 2 hours of deliberation yesterday. New at 6, more of our conversation with Andy Gillis and if he feels he could ever find forgiveness for Kevin Monahan. Do you think you'll ever be able to forgive Kevin Monahan?
The good part of me wants to. Someday, maybe, but right now I am not even thinking about that. Who knows? Time will tell.
And would it have been more helpful to answer that question if he had shown any signs of remorse?
Absolutely. We've spoke about that. The family spoke about that. Friends have spoke about that. It's hard to believe that he, went 9 months without showing any sort of remorse toward our family and friends for, taking her life. If it was an accident like he implies, then there should have been no problem for him to give us some sort of apology or explanation to why he did it.
What did you make of his tears on the stand?
Honestly, I thought they were, I thought it was rehearsed. I can't really say for sure, but to me, it looked like they were insincere.
And Kaylin's friends and Blake, bravely speaking in court as well, Andy, you must have been proud to see them have the strength to get up and do that.
I was absolutely proud. Those kids did an amazing job through everything they've been through. It had to be so hard for them to get up there and do that, but they did everything with bravery, and they just nailed it on the stand. I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know if I would have had the strength to do that.
Our conversation with Andy Gillis today. Sentencing for Kevin Monahan is set for March 1st. He faces 25 years to life for second-degree murder conviction.
There will be an appeal of that conviction, and there's a pending civil lawsuit against Monahan as well.